having fun on the 4th, unless you don't like loud bangs.
Columbia works to solve its parking problem.
An hours-long manhunt ends with one woman in the hospital. I'm Jordan McGee, and I've got the latest information for you. KOMU 8 News at 6 starts now.
Here's what's happening right now. A manhunt in Montgomery County has ended. A woman who was on the run is now in the hospital. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Reed.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. Officers say the manhunt began when the woman stole a car and led Missouri Highway Patrol troopers on a high-speed chase across Montgomery County. It ended when the woman ran into a heavily wooded area southwest of High Hill on the I-70 outer road. KOMU 8's Jordan McGee has been on the scene all day, joins us live in Montgomery County with the latest.
When I arrived at the scene, there were several highway patrol cars holding a perimeter while troopers searched in the woods behind me. Their chase began about 5 miles outside of Columbia. Troopers say they lost the suspect for about 20 miles until they got to around Kingdom City, where they say the driver was driving recklessly, passing cars on the shoulder. Just outside of Kingdom City, troopers followed at a distance until they could get an aircraft to keep track of the vehicle. Another 20 miles down I-70 East, around mile marker 175, is where they located the woman again. The troopers used a spike strip to stop her vehicle, taking out the front wheels of her car. I spoke with Sergeant Scott White of the Highway Patrol, and they told me the suspect broke into someone's home and asked to be taken to the hospital. Sergeant White told me the people at the house she broke into took her to Herman Area District Hospital, and that's where she is right now being held and watched by Highway Patrol officers. White says the investigation is still going on, and hopefully we'll have more information for you later. Reporting live from High Hill, Jordan McGee, KOMU 8 News.
If traffic and parking have ever driven you crazy in Columbia, you are certainly not the only one. The City Council has plans to ease those concerns for people. KOMU 8's Amina Petinich has reaction from residents.
Whether you're on 9th, 10th, or Hitch Street, it looks to be the same problem on every block. The struggle of finding parking spots and the burden of traffic in downtown Columbia.
Traffic is very congested, and parking is an issue for many businesses.
Parking and traffic can get pretty crazy sometimes, you know. When I do find a spot, it's taken, you know, way longer than I would like it to.
Making a left turn is like impossible sometimes just because the traffic keeps coming. You don't get a free go.
With parking and traffic continuing to be an issue for people, the Columbia City Council has recently approved the creation of a parking task force that will soon start creating a game plan on how to fix some of those issues.
Top priorities for the new task force are reviewing zoning codes, looking into better management practices from other cities, getting people to use other means of transportation, and adopting shared parking programs.
I think folks can think of parking as this really simple thing. It's just about parking, but really transportation is so tied to parking because the way that we get from place to place, of course, depends on where we're going to park at the end of that.
There will be 15 members on a new force from several different associations. Amina Petinich, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
The task force will start working come early July.
It's never too early to start thinking about the holiday weekend forecast. Let's send it over to Kenton for a check.
Jim, thank you very much. Satellite and radar right now not looking like much. We just have some scattered clouds in the region. Some rain pushed off to our west. Shouldn't be affecting us here this evening. Otherwise, 82 in Columbia and Jeff City. Cooler temperatures, 85 at Lake of the Ozarks and Versailles and Boonville at this hour. Looking at winds from the east at 7 miles an hour right now. They're from the south, though, in Kansas City. And for most of our night, they should be from the southeast. And if we look at our hour-by-hour forecast with our weather app, 75 by 9 p.m. And by sunrise, we're down into the middle 60s. Once again, 63 there. Could have some spare showers in the region by that point and more thunderstorms in the afternoon. But those chances really ramp up this weekend, and we're going to have a big cool down ahead. It's an interesting holiday weekend forecast. I have the details later in the show.
Kenton, thank you very much. Droughts can cause plants and trees to wilt, can also cause wells to dry. A water specialist says when that happens, you need to check your water immediately. KOMU 8's Lee Yang is in the newsroom to explain.
When there's not enough water on the soil, there's not enough water in ground wells. Water specialist Bob Brose says during dry times, well water comes from a further distance. While the water travels underneath the surface, it picks up rocks, soil, and natural bacteria. Brose says the bacteria is typically identified in your well and could get you sick. He says when your well runs dry or you notice odors, you should have your water tested immediately.
You are the only one that's responsible for it. But if you don't get your well tested, there are chances of different diseases, diarrhea, vomiting, things like that may occur.
He says well owners should generally have their wells tested yearly. You can get testing bottles at your county health department or the Department of Health and Senior Services.
The road to recovery from addiction is not an easy one, so the University of Missouri wants to lend a hand to students on that journey with a new sober housing option. Students will now have the option of living in recovery-focused sober dorms on campus. Located in Discovery Hall, students will be able to room with others who are working to recover from alcohol and substance abuse. The space won't be marked any differently with posters or signs or anything like that than other sections of the dorm. But Adam Dietrich, an MU Student and Wellness Center employee, says this option is crucial for incoming freshmen trying to recover.
We have a freshman who found recovery in high school and they want to come in and still have a college experience. You know what I mean? That's a lot of people's kind of path these days. We have that ability to put them somewhere too.
Applicants for the housing will be reviewed on a case-by-case basis. Currently, 8 spaces are available for the fall, and more will be added if requested. The Missouri House Speaker picked the team to review the University of Missouri following last year's turmoil. Speaker Todd Richardson named former UM System President Gary Forsey and Jean Sinkfield, the wife of Rex Sinkfield, to the 8-person team. Richardson's other appointees include a Maryville University adjunct professor and a former Missouri vice chancellor. Senate Pro Tem Ron Richard chose the 4 other commission members earlier this month. The review commission will look at university procedures under scrutiny following last year's student protests.
The Fulton City Council will begin drafting a new ordinance to make response times faster for 2 fire departments. The Central Callaway Fire Protection District and the Fulton Fire Department have long had an agreement where they help each other when needed. Previously, one fire department would arrive at the scene and determine if more help was needed. Now both fire departments will automatically cover a fire or a car crash. The Fulton chief says the agreement is very important for the high number of trauma accidents in the Fulton area.
We saw an opportunity there to be able to provide a faster service, more equipment, increases the safety to personnel working on the incident. Plus, if mechanical extrication is needed, we're able to get these folks out of a vehicle a lot faster and on their way to a trauma center.
Central Callaway crews have already gotten approval from the Board of Directors. Now the ordinance will go to Fulton City Hall for approval.
The loud boom of fireworks might draw us in, but it's not necessarily the same for our furry friends.
Plus, Toyota recalls more than 1 million cars. That's coming up.
The First Alert Weather Cam is brought to you by your Heart of Missouri Chevy dealers.
Welcome back to KOMU News at 6 o'clock. Let's get started with our holiday weather trend. So that's the next 5 days, and it's going to be a cool one. You can see our average is 87 usually. We're at 86 tomorrow, 83 on Friday. We're down all the way into the middle 70s for high temperatures only on Saturday, eventually back up into the middle 80s by Monday, and we're going to be much warmer this time next week. So we do have a bit of a cool down over the holiday weekend. We also have some rain. That's what we're going to be talking about for the majority of this forecast here. So looking at satellite and radar, this is a 12-hour loop, actually, and you can see the system continuing to dissipate as it moves through as it was supposed to. As I talked about yesterday, it encountered some high pressure, some stable atmosphere the farther it moved towards that, and so then it dissipated, encountering that stable air. So if we look at what's happening with these frontal boundaries, we have this warm front over here to our west that is giving just that initialization for the shower and thunderstorm activity. Most of that rain should stay over to our west, at least for our evening hours. Could see more of that, though, later tonight. And then we're just waiting for some of these other systems to trickle in the coming days. And it could give us, and it likely will, a bit of a washout weekend for us. So let's look at the next couple hours here on our weathercast. Again, by about 2 a.m. here, some clouds in the region. I think we could even see some rain late tonight. Tim will be in tracking it all at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow morning on KOMU 8 News Today. Then a bit of a break midday with just some clouds mixing in. And then by the afternoon hour, this is 5 p.m. tomorrow, we are seeing more scattered shower and thunderstorm activity moving through. And we could see possibly up to half an inch for some of us by the end of tomorrow. Likely most of us about a quarter of an inch or less. If we look at 6 a.m. then on Friday, as you can see, it's dry, and I am expecting most of the shower and thunderstorm activity to stay pushed off to our south and to our west on Friday. But then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, that all changes. So let's look at this. So again, only a 20% chance throughout the day on Friday for any of those to straggle through. On Saturday, we have a 60 to 70% chance all day long for scattered shower and thunderstorm activity. This could be widespread at times, and especially on Sunday, does look to be the best chance for a washout. Again, 70% chance all day long. And then as we head into Monday, 4th of July here, we're looking at about a 40% chance in the morning. But then as we head into the later parts of the day, drying out. So that's good news for fire in the sky there on Monday evening. At this point, it does look dry. How much rain are we looking at? About 1 to 4 inches across mid-Missouri. Most of it, the higher amounts, likely north of I-70. So we're going to be watching for some possible flooding as well. 63 overnight tonight for our low temperature. Tomorrow, our high temperature is at 86. Again, very seasonal for this time of the year. Southwest winds about 5 to 10. And then in the coming days, those cooler temperatures move in. 76 only on Saturday, 80 on Sunday. Check out next week. We're back into the middle 90s by this time next week, and we'll likely have some humidity back as well. So enjoy the cooler temperatures and try to hopefully maybe have a backup plan in case of that rain. And again, I think it will. We also remind you about our fan club. All you have to do is donate a new or gently used fan at Lowe's in Columbia or Westlake Ace Hardware in Jefferson City and Fulton. We can get those to folks that certainly need them in the heat that will be back.
95 a week from today.
Yes.
We're right just back to where we were.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Kenton, thanks.
In your world news, Toyota recalled 1.5 million cars in Japan, including existing recalls in Europe. That means close to 3.5 million of its Prius hybrid and 6 other models are being recalled worldwide. The automaker is citing faulty gas tank parts and airbags in a report to Japan's transport ministry. Officials say the misshapen part in gas tanks can cause cracks and leaks.
And I want people to have fun on 4th of July. The big thing I would say with people that do have pets is to make sure that they are somewhere safe.
Coming up next, where's Rover when the fireworks begin?
Fireworks can be a lot of fun on the 4th of July,
Right.
but our pets might not feel the same way.
Maybe not. KOMU 8's Nina Amaden is here in the studio with the story of runaway pets.
In the city of Columbia, it's illegal to possess and use fireworks within city limits. The Columbia Police Department is adding about 10 extra officers this 4th of July weekend to keep a lookout for fireworks. While the department is looking out for your safety, they might just be helping out your furry, four-legged loved ones. The loud bangs and booms of those glorious fireworks are a beautiful sight for us to enjoy from our own backyards. But for our pets, those bangs and booms cause them to get very scared and sometimes run away from home.
But fireworks, every year I keep her inside, but even if I have her like put in a cage or something during fireworks, there was a year that she freaked out so much that she was trying to break out of the cage, the metal cage, and broke off part of her tooth, and her tongue was bleeding, and so she was freaking out that much just with fireworks outside. And
the Boone County Joint Communications says more dogs run away on the 4th of July than any other time of the year.
Your animals, they're not used to the loud noises, and so in a lot of cases those animals are going to run and hide. And so in some cases you have them outside and maybe you're barbecuing, you're hanging out with your families, and you don't notice that then because someone set up a firework, your dog is now over at your neighbor's house.
The police department is even increasing the amount of officers they have this weekend to make sure no residents set off fireworks or have them.
Annually, we get calls for fireworks complaints during this time of year. So this year we're actually increasing patrol enforcement, specifically for fireworks enforcement.
It is illegal to have fireworks in Columbia. That law just may be keeping your pet safe at home.
And I want people to have fun on 4th of July. The big thing I would say with people that do have pets is to make sure that they are somewhere safe.
In the city of Columbia, If someone is caught with fireworks within the city of Columbia, they could get up to a $100 fine or a $500 fine and face up to 3 months in jail.
The Royals and Cardinals are facing I-70 gridlock.
And the boys in blue will go at it without a key piece. Sports is next.
Sports.
Hello, everyone. The I-70 series continues in St. Louis tonight after the Cards and Royals split a pair of games in Kansas City. Carlos Martinez makes the start for the Redbirds against the Royals' Edinson Volquez. The Cards and Royals share identical records, 40 and 36, as they approach the midway point of the season. Tuesday night at Kauffman Stadium, the Cards struck early against Royals starter Yordano Ventura. Steven Piscotty scores on the Yadier Molina ground out. Then Colton Wong doubled to right field to make it 2-0 Redbirds in the second inning. And the Cardinals never relinquished the lead in this game. Matt Carpenter here hits a solo home run, his 14th of the year. That put the Redbirds up 4-2. And then another Matt, Mr. Adams for St. Louis, strikes with a long ball to center. Not a home run, but a fly ball that's deep enough to drive in a run from third as Brandon Moss tags up and scores to make it 5-2. Yordano Ventura, rough outing. 5 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 7 runs on 7 hits, and the Cardinals win 8-4. They play tonight at Busch. Meanwhile, the Royals will be a bit short-handed. They put outfielder Lorenzo Cain, the starting center fielder, on the 15-day disabled list with a strained left hamstring. To replace him on the roster, the Royals called up Brett Eibner from Omaha. Eibner spent some time with the Royals earlier this season. Former Missouri Tigers star Max Scherzer is making the start for the Washington Nationals tonight against the New York Mets at Nationals Park in our nation's capital. Scherzer 8-5 with a 3.52 earned run average. The Nationals lead the National League East by 5 games over the Mets. Scherzer off to a good start. Did not allow a run in the first. He's opposed by another former Big 12 pitcher, Logan Verrett, who played for the Baylor Bears. The game's just underway, and we'll show you highlights tonight at 10. The College World Series will end tonight with either Arizona or Coastal Carolina as the national champion. The Wildcats of Chanticleers play the deciding game of their 3-game national championship series. Coastal forced a decisive third game with a 5-4 win Tuesday night. The Chanticleers broke a 2-2 tie with 3 runs in the 8th inning. Neither of these teams even hosted a regional this year. Neither team finished among the top 16 national seeds for the tournament, but here they are, just a win away from a national title. The championship game will start at 7 at TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha. Well, it is that time of the week. Time to salute our rising star. This week's star, 8-year-old Braden Jackson of New Bloomfield. He plays shortstop for the New Bloomfield 8 and Under Peacocks. Along with baseball, he likes basketball and playing Xbox. Way to go. He's received a great attendance award as well. Attaboy Braden also came in first place in the BC Baseball Mother's Day 2016 tournament. He gets a t-shirt. You can nominate your rising star at KOMU.com. Rising star for kids ages 5 through 12. That is sports.
Turbino's Rising Star is brought to you by Jim Butler Chevrolet, Mid-Missouri's powerhouse.
Coming up on KOMU 8 News at 10, the world is still talking about Tuesday's attack at the Istanbul airport.
We'll have Mid-Missouri reaction and how the U.S. is stepping up security measures. Kenton?
Well, we are going to remain mostly dry this evening, but then late tonight and heading into early tomorrow morning, showers and thunderstorms moving back in. So I'm expecting some rain on the radar for Tim tomorrow morning. So make sure to tune in with him on KOMU 8 News today, starting at 4:30 a.m. 86 then tomorrow. We're dry on Friday. And as we head into Saturday, we're cool. That's a high temperature of 76. But it could be a washout, and it likely will be on Saturday and Sunday, especially along and north of I-70. I think that's where most of the rain will fall. Some areas by Monday afternoon, when I'm expecting the rain to end, could actually see up to 4 inches of rainfall.
I wonder how many baseball fans drove through Columbia today.
Oh, I think several. Yeah, at least.